body is my temple. I nurture it with love and respect. I release all judgment and embrace where I am with love.
Welcome to another episode of Awakening Cosmic Souls. Today we have a very interesting topic. Angel and I are going to really be discussing dogmas and how we transform or we transfer one belief into another belief, and we take one dogma into a new experience. When we're trying to escape one dogma, we go to another dogma or create our own dogma. So we're going to talk about that today. So again, welcome to Awakening Cosmic Soul. I'm Shaman Ra.
I'm Angel.
And it's going to be a pleasure to talk with you all today.
Yes, I am excited about this topic. This is a topic that I have with a lot of my friends right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Topics, okay. So we're talking about religion. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about moving from one expectation or one belief system to another. And dogma is what we call it. Yeah.
So the most, I'm not going to say most conversational piece would be, but I would say the most popular opinion would be when people decide to leave religion and just say, I'm spiritual. When someone asks, well, what religion are you? You say, I'm spiritual. And it's like, so what does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? And why is that such a big thing right now?
Oh, man, because we're in a time of awakening and people are starting to question everything. But the problem is that when we question, sometimes we don't know the right questions to ask, or when we question something and we move away from something, we move back into something that is familiar. And when I say what's familiar, we move back into another system that we have to follow. So when we're trying to get into spirituality, we need to understand what spirituality is, and we need to also understand what dogma is, because they can coexist in the same place, for sure.
Okay, so I have had a conversation, and I had a friend that told me that she no longer felt the need to say that she was Christian anymore. She was denouncing Christianity, but she believed in the Christ story, but she was denouncing Christianity because she felt like the religion was oppressive.
Okay.
And when she understood herself, of her reading the Bible and just trying to make sense of some things, she felt like the religion aspect of Christianity was oppressive.
Okay.
And she lost majority of her family by doing that.
I can imagine. I can definitely imagine. Yeah.
And she felt alone. And we had this conversation, and it was like, so the reason why she felt alone was because she felt like she was exiled, because she was going against what everybody believed in. And so we had conversation about, you really don't get a choice about religion when you grow up around wherever you are raised.
Right.
It's really implanted in you.
Right.
So you don't even have an option to say, hey, I want to do Hinduism, I want to try Buddhism. It's just whatever it is that you are brought up around.
Yeah.
And when that's all you know, that's all you know.
Right.
And as she started exploring more, started traveling, her conscience started unlocking, and she started seeing things. But in all, she said, most of it she saw was the same thing, of just different stories, but it all led up to the same thing.
Right.
But she knew that God was inside of her, and she needed to do more work within instead of looking for things outside of herself.
Okay.
And that's what she learned with being in religion, that everything was outside of her own self.
Right.
But it made her
that's most of life.
Yeah.
We look outside of ourselves for everything.
But that made her the black sheep of the family, and now, she's trying to find her spiritual family, and it's like, what does that look like?
Right. And that's a good question, because first of all, in a lot of instances, what happens is we leave one religion for another religion, and we call that religion spirituality. Because what happens is we're looking for some type of rules or some type of set system And it's sometimes it's an unconscious search. We don't even know we're looking for that. We're looking for something different, but we're not aware that we're looking for something, but we're searching for something that gives us rules, that gives us the way. So let's really just stop right here and just break down dogma.
Okay.
Because when we talk about dogma and religious dogma, we have to understand what dogma is and why we go back to it when we're going into our searches and when we're trying to find ourselves. But your friend is exactly right. Everything is inside of us. So we need to be looking inside versus outside. But sometimes the dogma that we're used to, that we might not like because it puts so many rules on us, we're accustomed to following the rules. So we need some guidelines. And that's why we begin to move into spirituality, because it gives us a sense of freedom, and we kind of pick and choose, and we don't have to adopt this idea or concept from Christianity. We can adopt something else. We can kind of pull in this from Buddhism. We can pull this in from Hinduism. We can pull this in from Islam. We can pull this in from any other type of religion. And what happens is we begin to create our own religion within, but then we create our own rules. And then we call it spirituality. And that's just one way, because there's many ways that we can look at this. But let's break down dogma first, okay? So dogma comes from the Greek word meaning opinion or belief. And it comes from the word dogma. It means opinion or belief. So a dogma is a set of opinions or beliefs. And it's also a set of rules. Dogma also in general use is referring to a principle, belief, or set of teachings that's held to be unquestionably true by a group. So when we talk about unquestionably true, that means when you get into a religion, you can't question the rules. So this is the dogma, but this is what we're used to. We're learning to find our own dogma by following the religion. So religion is not bad.
Right.
Religion gives us a set of rules because some souls are at a maturity level that have to have rules in order to find themselves. And if we look at it like these rules are helping me find myself, and when you find yourself within this system, then you can begin to understand that this system is no longer working for you. And then you can start to search for another system that's larger. And that's where spirituality comes in, because spirituality then begins to search yourself. And that system will take many lifetimes. But there's sets of rules that we begin to set on ourselves. But we have to understand how to set those rules up. But we have to understand what dogma is.
So, because we all have to coexist amongst each other on this earth, when we think about everyone's beliefs are different because we're all different. When you have a system that is the majority that people believe in,
right?
But we understand that there was something that came before that.
Right.
And then there was something that came before that.
Right. Yeah. And there's something going to come after.
Something that came before that.
Right. Exactly. There's always going to be something. And we have to understand, yes, there are rules and there are religions, and we are born into a society that is majority Christian in America. But if you were born in the Middle East, you would be born into a system that would be maybe Islam.
Yep.
So that will be your doctrine. That will be your dogma. So we have to really stop and think about, how are we so different from the other people? And now we got a lot of people that are being born in the realm of spirituality. And it's a search for finding things, which is a good thing, but also can be a dangerous thing, because we need some guidance with that. And I will be the first to say that, fortunately, I grew up in America, but I didn't grow up under the dogma of Christianity. I grew up, my father was in actually seminary school, and he actually learned about Islam. And then he said, well, wait a minute, if Islam came after Christianity, is there anything that came after Islam? And there was. And there was the Baha'i faith, long story short. And we grew up as Baha'is, and Baha'is have to learn about every major religion in the Adamic cycle. And there's 9 of them. We have to learn about all the religions, and then when we become 15, we can declare our belief to become a Baha'i. Or we can say, you know what, I believe these other religions are right, so let me try this. And we're encouraged to do what's in our heart.
Okay.
So I grew up very different. And I grew up with understanding and studying many religions at one time.
Okay.
So that helped me to open my mind to move outside of dogma, to understand that there is more than one way. There's always more than one way. So there's definitely more than one path to God.
Yes.
And it's not just one. Now, there is a verse in the Bible that talks about Christ saying, through me is the only way to God, to the kingdom. Now, Christ said that. The Christ. Now, if you break down the Christ means love. So the only way to him is through love. It's not through religion.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion. Now, what you were talking about earlier is everybody has their own belief systems.
Yes.
Everybody's truth is not your truth.
Right.
We all have the right to have our own truth.
Oh, yeah.
We have to respect someone else's truth. So if they follow that doctrine of Christianity, then I have to respect that because that's their truth. Now, it would be nice if they respect my truth,
Right.
but all people don't always do it. But thou shalt not judge. So we should be respecting other people's truths because everybody's truth is but a half truth. And it's only a half truth because it's according to what we learned.
Right.
Our doctrine. Grow up in America, Christianity usually is going to be the major religion. Grow up in the Middle East is probably going to be Islam. Grow up in India, it might be Hinduism, might be Buddhism, might be Taoism, might be many different things. So just food for thought. If we open our minds and understand there's more than one path, and the funny thing about this one path that people think there is and only, there's many ways to find the path to find unconditional love of self or love.
Oh, yeah. And so what my friend was coming to me about was that she's grieving, leaving religion.
Yeah.
Because this is something that she has known her entire life.
Right.
And now she's at a different understanding and wanting to believe something different.
Right.
But it's so vast out here because source is so we'll never understand in our human mind everything that the Creator is made out of.
No, never.
So it's like she's at a point where it's like, where do I start? And so now my suggestion is to tell her to follow and find her higher self, because that is never going to lead you wrong.
Right.
And that's going to guide you to where you need to be.
Right.
And my advice for people who are on that journey and they're trying to leave something, but then they find themselves either going back to what they already knew because it was familiar to them, and then they get out here and then there's like it's just too much.
Right, because there's no rules. There's no when you're talking spirituality, there is no rule. It's what you decide that is the rule. And like I say, sometimes we're not solely mature enough to make our own rules.
Yeah.
And to find your higher self is to find your true love within. And one of the best ways to do that is simply follow your heart. What do you love to do? And begin to do the things that you love to do. You want to do the things that make you feel good, that nurture your soul, that nurture your mind, nurture your body. And what will happen is doing that taps into the higher self. Now, we don't want to do things like, smoke and drink and do all these things. We want to do things that are going to be done for us to help us. And I only say that because when I say you got to do things you love, people can take that any direction they want to go with. But you want to do things that are going to be healthy and supportive and nurturing and developing for you and your soul. So you want to find something you love. What you do is you think about what you did as a child that you loved and begin to just start doing that. Sometimes it's as simple as, if I loved to paint when I was a child, begin to paint again. Become that inner child. And when you become that inner child, the inner self begins to awaken. And then the higher self begins to become known to you. Because through the child's mind is the way to the heavens. And the higher self is high into the heavens. So just something I'd say is find something you love to do, begin to do it, and just learn to listen to your heart. And just like you're stroking the pen or you're writing stories, whatever comes to your mind, these are the angels that are working with you. Your spirit guide, your higher self is leading you. So if that's going to be what's leading you, just listen.
Right.
Learn to follow, and that's surrender.
Yeah.
So there's many different ways to understand this process, but it's surrender or get some help.
Yeah.
You know, you can reach out to us. We have different programs that are available for people to find their higher self.
Absolutely. And sometimes you'll get to a point where you may get stuck because you're still holding on to those limited beliefs.
Right. And sometimes you can't see it. You have somebody show that to you.
Exactly.
Right.
And so what do you do, or how do you even identify that you're stuck with those limited beliefs that won't allow you to feel like you can trust God, you can trust Source?
Right. When you start to repeat situations, when you start to see things happening over and over and over again, and you don't like them, that's one main way to know that you're caught in a loop and you're stuck in limiting beliefs. But the other thing is, the main thing is, talk to somebody. Have someone sit down and actually ask you questions, and you'll begin to see where your pain is and where your hurt is and where those limited beliefs are coming from. And then you begin to break through those limiting beliefs. And as soon as the higher self, which is the consciousness, realizes, hey, I'm working as a detriment to myself, it automatically stops. Because it comes aware. It's kind of like when you know better, you do better.
Right.
And then it becomes a choice. And if you decide to not do better, that's just a choice. And that's okay too.
Yeah. That's just your journey. That's your path.
That's your journey. It's your path.
Yeah. And so also, I feel like when you run and you keep, well, for me, I didn't know any better, but just on my spiritual path, I took some things from Buddhism, I took some things from Hinduism, but it was not until I actually started taking classes that I knew that you can study all of these religions, but you got to do some work. You got to do some shadow work. And so you will run to different religions. Run, you will be visiting you in the temples. You will be next minute.
That answers one of your questions. That question you just asked, how do you know? One way is when you start running, when you start bouncing from one thing to the next. Because now what's happening, you're bouncing from one thing because you're trying not to look at you.
Right.
And you're looking at, well, maybe this can do it. But now the other thing is, all these other different religions and different systems have keys. There's many keys to the door. And sometimes we have to get many keys from different places to put the puzzle together. And again, that's where you seek help. And you ask somebody to help you to put the puzzle together. Because sometimes you can gather all the pieces, but you're like, I don't know how to put this puzzle together.
I still don't know how to put this puzzle together. Man.
And you just have someone do it. And when someone helps you put the puzzle together correctly, they help you to find yourself and to become your own master. They don't try to master you.
Right.
And that's dogma, is to master someone. But again, sometimes people have to be mastered before they become the master. So that's a big part of it.
Sometimes people have to be mastered
before they
become the master.
Right.
That's a bar.
That's a bar, for real.
That's a bar.
That's a bar. Because it's like you never know how to be the master until you've been under a system. You can't master yourself until you follow a system to a T and master a system. Then you can begin to work the system, and then you begin to create a new system.
So if we're talking about system, but if you're spiritual, there's no system that you're following though, right?
Well, the system is finding you.
And when you're developing that for yourself.
Because everybody's road is different. Everybody's path is different. But sometimes you have to get those keys from different places to find out how to actually create your own system.
Okay, so if you are talking about knowing that you've mastered something, is it because you have a certain success in life? Or is it because you're vibrating at a certain frequency and people want to know how you got there? Like, how would you know that you have
mastered it?
Yeah.
You're at peace. You're at peace.
You wake up in peace every day.
You wake up in peace every day, and you wake up in peace in your own system. Now, when we talk about, that class that I taught called The Structure of Your Spirit, we talk about those different levels from the fourth dimension. Once you master your own system and you start living your system, you become very successful. Doesn't quite mean you're the master yet. because true mastery comes when you become of service to other people,
Mm-hmm.
and you teach them how to master themselves.
Mm.
So the sixth level of the fourth dimension is when we begin to become our own master, and we live in our own dogma. And then we get so filthy rich that we begin to understand that, wow, there's nothing else I can do.
Mm.
And I want to do more. But the only way to do more now is to be of service of others.
Mm.
And that takes a process to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But people want to say, I'm of service to others and I'm just being of service, but they're not really ready to be of service. They need to be of service of self.
Man, I was just getting ready to tell you that I have taken classes from people, and they have, I mean, it was just chaos in their life. And it was like, if I would have just took the time just to sit back and just go more within myself and knew, and I didn't really need that. I was going to find it on my own eventually, but taking nothing away. I got what I needed, and it was what I needed at that moment. But that's why I took my time with being able to help people and not just jumping because I felt like I had taken myself out of that loop and now trying to jump out there. Like, no, it took me years. I've gotten to this. It took me 5 years to get to where I am right now.
Well, I'm glad it took you 5 years. It took me about 15 years to learn the system. So, you definitely fast-tracked it.
Yes.
But one thing.
But I had help.
Yeah.
And I seek the help.
So,
I am a firm believer in investing for that peace of mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what I have, and I'm just not even just want to just throw money out there, but I would do it triple times. Anything that I've spent to get to my conscious level where I am right now. It's no amount of money to even pay for that, really.
There is not, because when you invest into yourself, then everything begins to come back, and you begin to understand the bigger picture of you're investing in yourself and not in someone else. And one thing I will say about learning from people, God uses everybody as messengers. Even a person in pure chaos, in turmoil, upheaval, can drop some serious jewels and gems because God knows that they have your captive attention. So when we begin to look at that and understand God can speak through anybody. Everybody has their own life and they have their own things going on. We all got our own times of chaos, but that doesn't mean that God doesn't speak through us. So I just want to drop that little piece in there because, we all go through it.
And if you're waiting for that perfect time to be like, oh, now it's the perfect time I can teach now.
You open your heart. And God will send the message through whoever it needs to come through. So just remember that. God will send the message through whoever it needs to come through, however it needs to come when you're listening. So just remember that. That's some powerful stuff.
That's real.
And it's beautiful
that is
when
real.
when you start to look at and understand the power of the Most High, because that energy can come from anywhere. And again, when we're on our path, our journey, and we're searching, we can leave a religion, we can leave a dogma, and God opens its arms to us to then accept and show us everything we need to see. It's just we have to learn how to listen, and we have to learn how to surrender. If we don't surrender, then we can't get the messages that are trying to come to us. And my program is all about self-mastery. It's all about understanding yourself. And there's so many ways we have to dig into that, through emotions, through awareness, through the 7 Hermetic principles, through understanding the 3rd dimension, the 4th dimension, the 5th dimension, understanding what we're in right now, understanding the times we're in right now. So it's a perfect time for you or anybody out there listening to decide to go on your own journey. And again, you are more powerful than you think. So if you begin to just ask Source to help you the way that you want to be helped, then you will be surprised at the help that comes to you. If you ask for it, you shall receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're not talking about material gain.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about spiritual awareness,
Mm-hmm.
awareness of self,
Yes.
of nurturing the soul, growing and developing the soul. And now, the more that you do that, the more that you work the soul, if you're looking for abundance, trust me, that abundance will come. Because remember, if you're at a certain level and you're mastering yourself, then that abundance flows with you.
Yes.
Because we are all abundant, and all we have to do is just get out of our own way. And it's just realize one day, just wake up and realize that you're already abundant and everything is already flowing to you, and just reach and grab it.
Yes.
And just see where it's coming. And some people, I don't understand that. Well, I didn't either for a long time. It was hard for me to really to get that, to grasp
and when
that.
you say grasp that, it's a feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feeling of knowing and detachment, where you don't have to worry about or think about I'm in lack.
Yes.
Because the more that you think about, and the more that you ask for something that you don't have, you're in the frequency of I don't have it. But then when you just kind of detach from it and just let it go, surrender and allow, a lot of amazing things happen.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful meditation called Surrender, and it's powerful.
What album
Tap
is that
into
on?
it. That's on the third one, Angel Medicine. Angel
Medicine.
Yeah, it's on the third album. It's a beautiful, beautiful meditation for surrender.
Yes, for sure.
And we got some other stuff we're going to come out with too that's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
New technology. Well, I would say old technology coming to us, just remembering it, and we're going to pass it on to you guys for that healing process, for that awareness, and for you, if you're out there looking for your tribe, if you're looking for the journey of how to do what you're doing, if you're breaking your traditional dogma and you're looking for a new way, we have some different ways that we can help you with that.
Absolutely. And I would suggest you, Shamara put out some wonderful, wonderful videos. You can see them, the short stories on YouTube and also on the Instagram.
Yep.
It's a whole class.
Definitely.
In series.
Of how to. Talk about syllogisms, which is some people like, what is a syllogism? Well, breaking it down for you in the whole series. But a syllogism basically is deductive reasoning. If you think one premises, which is I have this one idea in my head, and it's backed up by another premises, then the conclusion is always going to be equal to the first idea. And sometimes it's not a good thing. Yeah. And we can be in negative premises all the time.
And I can say, if you're listening to something and you don't feel like you understand it, don't feel intimidated, because it was a time where I would listen to classes and it would go over my head, and I would have to listen to it 2 or 3 times. And your soul is evolving every second, every minute, and you will be aligned with the frequency of understanding, and it will become a knowing for you. So don't beat yourself up or don't scroll. If you saw it, it is for you to see, and you will get it.
Make a comment and ask for help.
Yes.
That's all you got to do, because we listen and we watch the comments, so we will answer.
Yeah, and leave some feedback.
Yeah, leave some feedback.
It is everyone views things differently, so your understanding may be different, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, your understanding only comes from what you've consciously received and learned.
That's it. Where your subconscious is.
That's it. So it's nothing wrong with questions. Always ask questions. We can help you look at things from a different perspective.
Yes, and that was me, because I was always the one that was looking for the opposite of something, the polarity of something. So I'm gonna always question the professors and the teachers and the preachers and everybody. Well, what about this? You didn't mention this, or what about this possibility, or what about this outcome? So, and there is nothing wrong with that, because we all come from the same source, and we have that infinite knowledge. We have that infinite information. So it's a beautiful thing, and I love to have those conscious conversations, because we all grow from them and we all learn from it, and you can help us look at things at a different perspective as well.
Definitely. Yeah, well, good deal. Yeah, that's about time for today.
Oh man, this was good stuff.
So we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode with Awakening Cosmic Souls. Can't wait to see what the next episode will bring.
Exactly. Like, comment, and share.
Yes.
Please like, comment, and share.
Yes, let us know that you tuned in.
Right, let us know. We want to hear from you.
Yes, all right.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Love you guys.
My body is my temple. I nurture it with love and respect. I release all judgment and embrace where I am with love.